Move on to the agenda. We have item number 4, which is a presentation by Amy O'Gorham, Director of Regional Public Affairs for the League of California Cities, regarding the League's activities. Welcome, Amy.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. I'm going to just quickly get set up here. Okay. Well, thank you. It's a real pleasure to be here. In fact, when I last presented to this council, it was a very different looking council. It was about, 5 years ago, and we were talking about a ballot measure, which I will just very briefly touch on today, but I appreciate your time, and always an honor to come before the members. I wanted to briefly speak to you today about some of the accomplishments of the League of California Cities, and I want to speak to it in the context of the Grassroots program, which I'm currently the director of. I'm also your North Bay regional Grassroots representative. So I'm going to highlight some of the accomplishments of the program, and then I'm happy to talk a little bit about what's happening at the state level, but we'll kind of gauge that as we go along. What I wanted to first do is just point out a brochure that I provided you, just outlining the value of the League. I think in this current economic crisis, the cities are dealing with some of the impacts in your local budgets. I think it's important that we highlight some of the services that we provide. And I think it's also important to note that the extent to which you want to engage, I think you can get a lot out of this organization. It's one I'm very proud to be a part of. And so, again, I look forward to working with you in the days and weeks and perhaps years to come as we engage in legislative advocacy efforts and other efforts as an organization. So just very briefly, I'm going to talk again about this Grassroots program that the League has founded. Basically, over the past few years, cities have celebrated many successes and very significant achievements, both legislatively and at the ballot box. But I think it's important to note that that wasn't always the case. In fact, cities were constantly subject to raids by the state to the tune of about $5 million every year. They were constantly being raided in good times and bad. This was your local revenue source. And what ultimately happened is in 2001, cities just got tired of it. And they decided to put a lot more money into the League and establish what is now called the Regional Public Affairs Program, or the Grassroots program. Just to make sure that the program was meeting its objectives, they put a 7-year sunset on it, just to make sure that, again, we were doing what we were supposed to do. And then in September 2007, the League of Cities, 480 California cities unanimously supported a permanent program. So this regional program is now permanent, and that's based on a vote of the membership.